Watch me.
Eleanor Roosevelt had this great quote. She said that poor minds talk about other people, average minds talk about events, but great minds talk about ideas. Welcome to the Take On Everything podcast.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday evening. It is the Take On Everything, where we are going to take on a bunch of stuff tonight. This is Monday, March 8th. Welcome to the show.
It's already the 8th? Holy shit.
Right? Isn't that insane?
I feel like I say this every year. Like, what happened in January? Like, did we even celebrate New Year's?
It's like, bye.
I don't even know what to do with it anymore. Just slow down time.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just been kind of locked away for the last year anyway, so that doesn't help either.
You know what? Like, the fact that I was able to graduate and try to get my life in order and have dreams and plans, and then they were gonna hit me with a no, bitch, you stay inside this year and the next year, and fuck your goals and your dreams, and we'll figure it out as time goes on.
It's like, you did good, but sorry, you can't enjoy any of that hard work you just put up there. So
nope, it's fucking stupid. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do,
James? Exactly. Well, we're gonna rail against the system. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. Rage against the machine, if you will.
You mean the system's gonna rail us every single time?
That's basically what ends up happening.
It's always what happens. It's just have the common courtesy to use some lube. It's $1 at the gas station. Are you serious? You're gonna give all this fucking money to the Middle East? You can't use a little lube when you fuck me up the ass? But I'm not.
Well, I mean, I guess we're not worth that much. We're just really not in their eyes anyway. I mean, not according to this stimulus, by the way. This new stimulus round 3.
I was promised $2,000, and they're going to offer $1,400 to select individuals. Are you fucking serious? Give me my $2,000. Also, I haven't even got my tax return back yet, and I filed a month and a half ago. Give me my fuck ass money. See, I always gotta chase these hoes for my goddamn returns. But if they want to bomb Syria, ain't nobody chasing me for permission. They just do it. And that's the issue. When they want something, they're so fucking efficient about it. But when I need something, there's paperwork to fill out and everyone's got to read 600 pages. And I was just who the fuck has time to write that much? Who the fuck's sitting there writing that bullshit? Some fantasy porn's in there, because that's what I would do, because no one's reading 600 pages. And that's why all the Democrats were worried about them actually reading it in front of everybody, because they were going to find some secret shit they just put in to pad the fucking pages. I'm so mad. I'm mad that I haven't gotten the money yet, but I'm sure I'll shut the fuck up about it as soon as it hits my account.
Well, yeah, they didn't read the last 2 stimulus bills, right? But this one, which I thought was hilarious, and this is the crazy thing about a transition of power, right? We went from a Republican president to a Democrat president. So now Republicans are all worried about the debt and stuff. So the first stimulus bill under a Democratic president, and now you have a Republican senator making them read it out loud, which I thought was hilarious. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I love it. That's awesome. I'm very excited about this. Because Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin said, hey, if you're going to pass this bill, you got to read the entire thing out loud. It took him I think it was 10 hours or something like that of reading straight to read through this bill, which was just beautiful. I loved it. It's so partisan and it's such bullshit, but I loved it. Okay. But it's almost
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say AOC, right? Remember when she was talking shit on the other bill and saying, well, we don't have time to read it. It's so big. Or,
no, fuck her. She still voted for it. Fuck her.
Exactly. That's what
why
I mean.
Even bring up the fact that you didn't have enough time to read it if you're still going to vote for it? Because clearly the time limit wasn't a fucking factor in your vote, was it? You were going to vote for it regardless. $600, shut the fuck up. But why the hell am I paying you if you're going to vote on shit you never read? Bet your ass you better be in Texas raising money, because you just made a fuck ton off me doing fuck shit. Do you understand? So, like, she didn't do enough for Texas. If you consider all the shit she was supposed to do, voting on bills she didn't read. But then also, I bet everyone felt real fucking dumb when they were like, let's sneak some shit in to pad it. And now we got to sit through and listen to it. But the other guy did not do that for like the sanctity of the bill. He did it to be a petty bastard. And like, as much as I love a petty bastard, we cannot have petty assholes in our government, because then shit like this happens. And that's why I won't run for office, is my main point. Because I'm a petty bitch. And I would
to sum up, I don't want to become what I hate.
I am what I hate, and that's why I won't feed that monster.
Just enough to keep it going, but you know, not to overdo it.
Not enough
That's
to
a good
dictate someone's life. You know,
that's a good balance. That's striking a good balance. I like that. So yeah, goddamn stimulus, it just pisses me off. It's one thing after another. Okay, here's a headline which some of you may have heard from. Was it the Washington Post? Let me read the headline for you. Biden showers money on Americans, sharply cutting poverty in a defining move of a presidency.
$1,400 was the baseline of.
Who?
What the
at
fuck
what
is
point
your life about? That
$1,400
is a pivotal moment for you. Like, how fucked is your shit that's going to change?
Moment
for poverty. For poverty, we've been in a recession, not a recession, a pandemic for months. Okay, people have lost their homes, and they were only like behind $1,400. Like, don't you? My monthly bills aren't $1,400. Like, how the fuck did that change your life? And that's how disconnected the government is from the rest of the nation. When like Mitch McConnell can sit smug as fuck with a straight face, Americans are hoarding cash and we need to reopen the economy. Yeah, we're just sitting here squallering in our riches and we're being assholes, and that's why the economy shut down, and not because of your bullshit policies. But
yeah, it's definitely our fault. Also, Joe Biden like saved poverty or whatever.
He cured racism. He saved poverty. Like, he's the fucking best guy. Like, have you met him? He's awesome. Let him sniff your hair.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, what else are you gonna say? We've done like what, 3 stimulus episodes now? It's just kind of like the same bullshit over and over again. Doesn't matter whether it's Trump or Biden.
I think we're gonna do like 7 more stimulus bullshit checks because
probably.
Because, like, think about it. If people are dependent on the government, they'll never revolt. And if I get my monthly income every fucking 2 weeks from the government, and I get to just like sit and hang out, and they get to like, I don't know, have a circle jerk, then like,
and bomb foreigners
and bomb foreigners, like that's and like encage people in our border.
Yeah, kids are still in cages, by the way. We just call it
and like
else.
Enslave our prisoners. And like regulate our like diets, and like, you know, like people will just be more accepting if there was like $1,000 check in their account every year. So like there will always be a stimulus. I feel like moving forward, we can all look forward to that monthly government income.
Yeah, we're getting to that point. Because I mean, okay, here's the other like economic piece of why they're probably going to continue with all these stimulus things. We're not out of the woods, right? We're going into an actual recession, not just a COVID recession. So like, okay, so I was looking at the U.S. debt clock today. So the proposed budget, right, for 2021 is over $8 trillion. Random guess, how much do you think we bring in taxes? Just wild guess.
How much do we bring? Okay, hold on, I can do this. I'm gonna say, if it's 8, I'm gonna say 400 million in taxes. That seems low.
Wow, that's very low. I mean, you know, it might as well be.
Too much. Is that like fucking nothing?
That is the
it's
answer.
not
that
real.
Is the answer.
You didn't work.
Much.
There's no fucking paycheck. Nothing exists. You're all in a vat in a lab, okay? And you have to wake up and unplug yourself from the machine, okay? This is not real. There's no fucking way that there's no way they can keep doing this to us. It has to be fake, and that's the reality I'm hiding from.
I like that. That's a good, you know, safe perspective on like life and all of this stuff. None of it's real. I like that. We'll just roll with that. Guys, that's the message we have for you tonight.
Yeah, that's why everything's okay, because like one day I'm going to wake up and unplug myself and it's all going to be fine. Okay. That's why I'm not too torn up that kids are dying and like the government's fucking us. Like we'll just wake up and it's not real and we live in a utopia. And I don't know who's changing our water, but like let's not think about that.
Just don't think about it. None of that matters, because it'll
None
just
of
be
it.
done by, I don't know, robots or something like that.
But on the same token, if
But
you're going to believe in that conspiracy theory, then you have to like acknowledge that you are now a prisoner of your own mind and the universe is of your own making, literally, and this is the best you could come up with. So like no fucking way you're going to be unplugged from the machine and life's going to be
you're
better,
getting way
'cause
too
look
deep
at
into
how
this.
look how awful your life is now and it's all fucking fake. Like you could literally do anything and this is the life you chose in a simulation. You think you're going to go out into the real world and be fantastic? You're not. So like it might as well be real. And that's
We
the
were at a
depressing
happy
part.
plateau, and then you just plunged everyone into depression. I
I'm
hope
a
you're happy.
nihilist today. Like
I see
Monday,
that.
I woke up a nihilist, and it's been really hard to like curb that. Like normally, I can like shove it down and be like, "We care about stuff." Thank
Yeah.
you. She gets it. See?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's such bullshit. Okay, so how much we raise in taxes? $3.5 trillion. So we have a $4.5 trillion deficit for this year, right? Where's that money going to come from? They're going to print it up. Guess what that means? We're going to pay higher prices, and we're going to all have less money, relatively speaking. So congratulations. We're handing out money to politically connected people so that we can pay higher prices later. And basically, we're screwed. And we're going to keep doing this shit. That's the frustrating part. So, anyways, goddamn stimulus.
No one, I don't think anyone could just like fathom that. Like, because I don't even get what a stimulus is. I just know that there's money coming from the government. I know that it was my money at some point, so I'm not going to applaud them for giving it to me. But like, technically 1.9, what was it? Yeah, it was $1.9 billion.
Trillion, 1.9 trillion. Oh, by the way,
That
that's not even
divides to
included.
like $7,000 per person. So like, why?
And that's not even included in the proposed budget. That's the 8 trillion. That doesn't include the 1.9 trillion because technically it's not passed yet. So we're just going to blow through like $10 trillion this year just because numbers don't matter. Math is fake. Okay, math
but
is
if you
fake.
think about it, Trump only did 7. Okay, so Biden is just running rampant with our money, wasting it. $10 trillion. It's only fucking March.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's really bad if you think
It's
about
really
it. Like right off the
fucking
bat.
awful. No points for the government ever. Like I'm sick and tired of
0
everyone
points.
giving them fucking credit for shit. Like, oh my God, they let the gays marry. Look at that. Like, you do realize that means they stopped the gays from marrying. Oh my God, they freed the slaves. They owned slaves. That's awful. Do you not get it? Like, stop applauding people for like, that's like your boyfriend beating your ass, but you like, oh my God, he drove me to the hospital. He's such a great guy. Fucking stupid. He's spending like a crack whore, honestly, though. Honestly,
That's a fact. That is a fact right
like
there.
crack
Like no
whore.
joke.
What are the
Yeah,
spending
stop
habits of crack whores?
I don't know. I assume it's like,
It's just crack and dick. That's all it is.
That's why when they read the bill out, the 628-page bill, it was just crack the entire, just over and over again, crack. This is all
You have
for
to be a
crack
goddamn
money.
meth head
Crack
to
money.
sit for that long and write 628 pages about COVID. Like that's 10 pages at most. I could get this shit done in 10 pages. And it's because they had extra words like whereas. And it's like, just get to the point. Get to the point. But they get paid for every word they write, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay them. I don't participate.
Yeah, you don't pay them. It's not voluntary. They just take your shit.
They just like collect money. It's like, and I didn't even vote for these bastards. That's the most upsetting
Exactly.
part. I did not vote for you hoe ass bitches. What's next, James?
Amen. So, okay, we had a couple topics, but that was the big one. Cuomo, right? The favorite on the show, Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York. So we talked a little bit last episode, I think it was, about how he was lying about killing old people. So he was underreporting numbers of nursing home deaths in New York by like 50% because he was scared of the DOJ and the Trump administration coming down on him or something. So then he waited to tell Joe Biden because he thought that Joe Biden would be more lenient on him. I don't know. So now he's like,
What the
oh, it's
fuck
cool
is that
now.
logic? Like, what the
I
fuck? Think
don't
about
even
that
know.
logic for a second. Just like, he didn't think for a moment somebody would ask questions. Like, not for a moment they'd be like, that's a lot of fucking people you forgot to tell us about. Like, no one would be like
And then
compared.
he threatened his aides and his cabinet that because they were gonna, report it like they're supposed to, and he told them not to. He threatened them all until whatever. I don't.
But you know what? Did he not earn that Emmy? Because holy shit, there were dead people in the closet and he made us think he had that shit under control. Did he not earn that Emmy? Give that man an Oscar. Jesus, I was there thinking, like, why can't everyone just be like New York? They were a cesspool and now they're gorgeous. Turns out it was all a lie, an elaborate ruse. Give that man an Emmy because he earned that shit. Okay,
that's a fact. Like, yeah, during his like acceptance speech or whatever, he was literally keeping bodies in the closet because that's exactly what was going on at that time. And like, okay, so that was the thing we talked about last week. He's in hot water again. If I don't know. After that Emmy, it must just be really, really bad luck because now he's apparently been sexually abusing women. There's 5 women now are accusing him of sexual assault, and he's just like, nah. I mean, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm not stepping down or anything like that. So tough luck. So he's killing old people. He's getting handsy with women. I don't know what this guy's problem is. After that Emmy, he just was like, I'm God. I can do whatever I want. I'm king of the world.
I know exactly what his problem is. He's a Democrat, which is very on brand for Democrats. Like, look who their president is. You're shocked that he's a lying piece of shit that touches on women and doesn't keep his word. Like, you're shocked. Like, yeah, that's exactly what the fuck he did. Of course he makes people uncomfortable. Look at his fucking face. Who the hell voted for him? Like, oh my God, like, Jesus. That's the issue. He grew up reading like Pepe Le Pew and Dr. Seuss, and now he's a racist sex offender, okay? Because no one's paying attention to what's on our government sanctioned reading lists until Joe Biden. And like,
that's right.
We don't give him enough credit.
So now we know what we're allowed to read and all this, because I mean, if the government didn't tell us what we could and couldn't read, I think, we'd be reading some dangerous things. So I'm glad we're on board now with all this.
I love Dr. Seuss. I think he's fucking a wordsmith, a genius, if you will.
Absolutely.
But then also, he drew some like pretty fucked up pictures, haven't we all? We've all been in middle school, done the little doodles that we aren't proud of, okay? But also he apologized. Like, he literally grew from that. And like, when you bring up Joe Biden's racism, all the liberals will be like, you can change, you can grow. He said sorry. But Dr. Seuss is like dead in the water. Like, that doesn't make sense. Also, the books they canceled, no one's fucking heard of and no one's fucking read. But once they made this announcement, guess what? Like, got sold out on Amazon. Like, they just did that to move fucking inventory. Stop feeding into this bullshit, okay? Like, who cares? You have not read Dr. Seuss. Like, all you people acting like you have a Cat in the Hat bedspread and you don't. You haven't read it. You haven't read to your kids ever. So it's not like you're reading it to them. So shut the fuck up about Dr. Seuss. Like, he's dead and you don't think about it anymore.
Yeah, honestly, like, even though it's kind of funny and there's like a lot of this, like, cancel culture, anti-cancel culture kind of stuff out there, the real spin to this, okay, is that people are, I feel like, even though there is cancel culture out there, people are looking for reasons to be upset, right? This is not one of those reasons. I'm just going to be plain, honest with you about, how I feel about that. So Dr. Seuss, right? He's got a lot of hit classics. He was, really big. He was very important to, personally, I never read Dr. Seuss. I was terrified of the characters in there, and I had nightmares. And so, this is a funny little story. So when I was younger, my mom read me.
Like, I don't know if you should be telling people that you're afraid of Dr. Seuss.
I'm terrified of Dr. Seuss. I've had nightmares about Dr. Seuss. So I'm not personally invested in this, is what I'm trying to say. But when I was younger, my mom read me Dr. Seuss, and I ended up having nightmares, and I was terrified every time she would bring the book out. I was like, Mom, I can't do Dr. Seuss. I just can't do it. It freaks me out, these little characters he's got.
What book was it?
I don't remember. That's the only one. I think it was like something about hands and toes or something like that. I don't know. It's weird. I guess I'm not like a toe
Walking
person.
in the pocket fucked me up. There's a walking.
No, that's what it was.
Pocket.
That's what it was. Walking in the pocket. Because then it was like there was stuff all over the place, and I was scared to look anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
There was like a closet in the closet, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Zamp in the lamp. That's what it was. That's what got me. Zamp in the lamp. I couldn't even turn on the lamp because it got the shades. You got to reach under there and flip that little thing, and I don't know. Whatever.
That was a dark one.
Yeah, that one was a little
lot
weird.
Of the Bidens still refuse because they're done with them, babe. Like BLM was the one night stand, and they had a really great time with Biden. But he's done with your pussy, bitch. So move on. You got played. I don't feel sorry for you because I told you fuck anybody but him. Fuck with anybody but him. And what'd you do? I'm a fuck with the Democrats, and they played your ass. So good. I'm glad that happened to you. You didn't deserve the help anyway because you profit off the plight of the Black communities. And like, why take the meeting at all? Because to solve any issue would eat into your bottom line, which is why you keep people in poverty and you peddle narratives that don't help the Black community. So you didn't deserve a meeting anyway, even if Biden had good intentions. Like, you didn't deserve the meeting. So wallow in that. And I'm glad fuck Joe Biden.
Do you remember, like, after the election when BLM was tweeting about, hey, it's been so-and-so days since the election and we still haven't had a meeting? He just straight up ghosted them. And I'm like, you and I straight up predicted that because that's how politicians work. It's exactly what they do. So no one was surprised when they just dropped them like hot something, I don't know, and
hot
just didn't give a shit.
Like,
because exactly.
Stupid.
Like,
you deserved it. What's next, James? What's next?
So yeah, after the Dr. Seuss and the Mr. Potato Head, first of all, I think it's kind of silly. Like, I mean, you know, it's just, yeah.
Because we're not talking about him bombing Syria anymore.
Yeah, it's such a distraction. Like, I feel like if you're going to be like, you know, somebody on the right wing, right, that's supposed to oppose the Democrats while they're in power. Now you're worked up about, you know, what gender a potato is and what kind of books Dr. Seuss has. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just a distraction. You're falling for it.
It's the same group that said a woman. It's the same group that said a woman.
Yeah, it's what I mean.
And
it's so stupid.
They're still on that fucking tone. And if a woman was supposed to set the tone for 2021, I'm very, like, concerned about culture.
Yeah, all I'm saying, guys, is don't fall for that stuff. Fight the real stuff. Don't fall for this stupid stuff. If you want Dr. Seuss, buy it up. That's like Princess said. They just bought the entire stock of Amazon. Go for it. Buy the book. Get the book. There's no shortage of books. Get the freaking book. You know what I mean? Get the Potato Head. And by the way, they're not discontinuing Mr. Potato Head. They're changing the line to say Potato Head, and they're still Mr. and Mrs. So I think it's over. People are looking for reasons to get upset. Cancel culture is real, but this is not an example of it. Anyways, that was my 2 cents on that.
Who the fuck's buying Potato Head toys anyway?
Yeah, I haven't seen these things in decades.
I haven't thought about Mr. Potato Head, like, until this came up. It's absolutely dumb. It's the same crowd of people that were pissed that Batwoman was Black. Because, like, oh my God, it doesn't add any real characteristics to it. Like, what new characteristics do you want now that her skin color's changed? She fights crime while, like, overcoming the struggles of growing up in a single parent household. Like, what the fuck's new from coming up? Like, it's literally a cash grab. But every fucking remake is, because Batwoman came out in 2006. And if you don't know what the fuck she's gonna do in that movie yet, you're retarded. Like, she does the same shit every movie. They flip around, shit blows up, she catches the bad guy. That's Batwoman. Okay, so if they're remaking it, it's not for you anyway because you've already seen the movie, and that's Mr. Potato Head. It's Mr. Potato. You've already, like, you're grown. You've played with the toy. Move on. It's not for you.
Amen.
What's next, James?
All right, so we have good news on the COVID front.
What?
Okay, so apparently this week, Texas and Mississippi are going to be fully open. No mask mandates. No restrictions. No nothing. And everyone's freaking out. So We're going to have to see what this looks like because, I mean, you know, people are saying, I think Gavin Newsom of California, who actually has the worst performing state in the entire country, by the way, and they're the
Unless he's
most locked
hiding
down.
bodies. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
it's.
probably with hiding bodies. Like Cuomo's like, hey, I got this
Then
huge
again, we
trip,
don't know who
hide the
else is
bodies.
hiding bodies. We don't know who else is hiding bodies. So allegedly the
That's
worst
true.
performing state. But also what interests me about this is everyone freaking out saying, well, what will we do with that? Like, no one said you couldn't wear a mask is the thing. And people are freaking out like they can't wear a mask outside now. And that's concerning about how deep seated this government intellect or like whatever the fuck's going on. It's so concerning how like deep seated it runs in like you have to listen to what they say and like
And if they don't tell you,
Simon
you can't do
says
it.
it's
You
Simon
can't think
says
for yourself.
Simon didn't
Yeah.
say take your mask off. Simon didn't say. So we're like you can stay the fuck inside. I prefer it if you do. Honestly, stay the fuck inside. Leave us the rest alone. Leave the rest of us alone. I'm fucking stoned. Can you tell? I'm stoned
You're
and I'm
still
drinking.
making more sense than the government does. So
honestly.
No, but no, Josh, like that's a good point with Florida because like, okay, there's a couple other states, not just Florida, that have been wide open for weeks, if not months. So interestingly enough, Iowa dropped their mask mandate at the beginning of February. They've actually had a decrease in infection rates and a decrease in mortality rates. And along with everybody else in their region in the Midwest. Same thing with Montana. They did it. Sweden did it. Everybody that's open has the exact same trend lines, whether it be infection rates or death rates. So apparently masks don't matter, or people pay more attention when they make the decisions for their own welfare. Like, we don't know exactly what the answer is. So either it doesn't matter whether you wear a mask or you pay more attention when you're not told to do something. You have to use your own mind to protect yourself and your family. That's all we're saying. It's like, okay, this is an argument I made probably a couple months ago on the show. It's like, if you funnel, like, okay, when there's no mask mandate, right? Here's what happens. Either businesses or individuals decide whether there's a mask mandate that they want to implement for their own private property, right? So if you have a business that wants you to wear a mask, you go in there with a mask, you only get the people that believe in masks and wear them correctly. If you don't want to wear a mask and you have a shop and you say, we don't, like, you're not allowed to wear a mask in here or whatever, then you only get the people that don't want to wear a mask. So if you're really concerned about it and you really do believe masks work, don't you want to be around people that believe like you and are doing it correctly? And you know what I mean? So it's a self, like, you know, you kind of stay away from the people that you think are dangerous and not wearing masks directly. And you are around the people that you think are wearing masks directly and are going to, you know, protect you. So James, it's a win-win when you use your own brain.
I think it's irresponsible that you're like peddling this narrative of personal responsibility and self-actualization. Like then I'd have to use like my own I can't even think of the word, but like, you know, my own discretion in like dealing with my life, and like that doesn't bode well. But also
you have to take responsibility. People don't like that. People like to be told what to do.
The masks were never about COVID. It was about personal safety and responsibility, because don't you just feel better when you have this security blanket literally on your face? And that's what it's for. And if these like fucking chimps feel better running around with a fabric on their mouths, then yeah, do that. I love it. Okay, because some of you are fucking ugly anyway. That's what I
that's the real reason.
The mask mandate. You ever like, look at a man and oh my god, he's fucking gorgeous. He takes off his mask and he has a weak ass jawline. It's like, ah, fuck you, masks. Fuck you, masks and sunglasses. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, you can argue that that's false advertising and fraud. So
fraud, sue them. If someone has a mask and they're not as attractive with it, sue them. Fucking sue them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, do it. Run rampant. I'm glad that Texas got to take off their masks before they could heat their homes.
So, yeah, so that's the trade-off. Like, Texas. You know, you get electricity, but like you don't have to wear masks, so it's a win-win. So we'll see what those numbers play out to be. I mean, from all the data we got from the other states, it looks like they're going to be perfectly fine. And actually, the masks and all the restrictions, virus going to virus, COVID going to COVID. It's really difficult to control this thing. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. be safe, take care, take the precautions that you think is necessary. Nobody's telling you to or not to do anything. Do what you think is necessary, and
Do it.
that's what we got to do, because that's the only thing that seems to work. Okay.
Let's text James.
So the last thing, because we're trying to keep our show to about half an hour, just to keep it accessible, and
Let's
for
just
you
run
guys.
through
And thanks
these quick.
for. Well, no, the
What is
last
it?
piece I want to talk about, right? This is huge. I mean, it's been something I've been following for a while. The Breonna Taylor case back in March of last year. So 1 year later, Kenneth Walker, her boyfriend, the guy that used his firearm, what I believe as in self-defense, and now the courts believe in self-defense, has finally had charges dropped against him for firing back at officers who executed a no-knock raid on Breonna Taylor and his apartment. So charges are finally dropped, and I was just glad to see that, because I think anybody that supports gun ownership, the Castle Doctrine, any right to self-defense needs to kind of support people that can defend themselves against who they believe are, armed intruders. Whether they're police who don't correctly announce themselves, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but they still busted in, they started shooting, and that's exactly what I would do. So I think that this is something that 2A supporters and self-defense supporters should be very excited about and very happy about.
Okay. Sure.
Sure.
Sure. Because it's like, duh, what the fuck are you going to hold him on? Like, honestly, like, you're going to look me in the eyes and say the cop acted in self-defense, but the other guy didn't, who you broke. Yeah, like, obviously they did that. Like, I thought they already did it.
It took them a freaking year. It took them a goddamn year.
I thought they already did it. I thought they already did it. That's why I was like, obviously you're going to do that. But then also, that sets the precedent that the police do have the right to barge into your house unannounced, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. But hopefully people start breaking other people's shit, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, I guess we can't hold this other guy either. Because it wasn't like, I don't believe that they like saw the error of their ways, and that's why they decided that this person's not going to be charged. Like, they were very calculated in the fact that we can't charge them because people are going to do like some hood shit in the streets. Okay. And like, it was politically motivated. They don't actually give a shit about his rights. They owe him quite a bit of money, and I'm really sad that it's my fucking money. Well, not mine, but Colorado, you do that shit here, you're gonna face the wrath of a princess. But we do that shit all the time. See, like, I can't even say, and I know I say Colorado's the best state in the union because I really do believe that, like, I'd never leave. But y'all ghetto sometimes. Y'all do some belligerent liberal shit, and I don't like it. And the issue is everyone from fucking California moves here, and that's not a problem. The problem is they bring their bullshit politics with them, and that's why the rent goes up, because they're so used to paying extortionate rates that they don't know a good deal when they see one. But that's besides the point, because, like, good that he got off the hook. But also, the police had no right to be there from the get-go, because even if that man was selling drugs, even if he was, mind your fuck-ass business. This shit's capitalism. That shit is pure weed. Fucking cap. It was weed. It was fucking like weed.
You don't gotta kill somebody over weed. That's some drug dealer shit. If you shoot somebody over weed, you're a drug dealer, okay? I don't care who you are. Like,
the government is literally a gang. Like, stop thinking of the government as this overarching helpful entity and think of it as a gang, like the fucking cartel. They do great stuff in Mexico for a lot of fucking neighborhoods. That doesn't mean they didn't string Jose up by his fucking toenails, okay? Just because they bought Rosetta flowers doesn't mean they're good for the nation. Okay, leave that, renounce your government. Leave that shit alone. It's fucking stupid.
Al Capone was like renowned and revered in his communities because he did so much for his communities, and he murdered people. This is the thing. They have this Stockholm syndrome, and this is the same thing with the masks. I feel like there's this like belief that without government we couldn't do anything, and they have our best interests at heart, and that if they don't tell us to wear a mask, or they don't tell us how many people are allowed to be in the building, or they don't tell us what stuff we can smoke, or what we can drink, or when we can drink it, or where we have to be, and all this shit, that we can't function on our own. And that is bullshit. So that's it's the same mentality. It's this bullshit mentality of Stockholm syndrome, where we need the government to tell us what to do. They got our best interests at heart. No, they do not. The stimulus bill should tell you they don't give a shit about you.
Oh my God. And like, what are you going to do though? What are you going to do? That's the conundrum I face every single time. It's like, this is awful. I don't want to live like this anymore. But like, to change anything, would that not make me a tyrant? It absolutely would. So what are you going to do?
That's
What are
the
you going to do?
existential question.
Rip, because you can't rip away a system people are consenting to, even if libertarians decided to vote and we convinced 80% of this nation to vote libertarian. Okay. What about the other 20%? Like, are we just going to fuck them over? No, that doesn't make sense. And like, nobody has to listen to us. No one has to like hear what we have to say and like really contemplate it. Like, we're talking to brick walls. We are, and that's like real, and that's their right to like exist in that manner. So who am I to change anything? And I really just want like an opt-out clause, because like once you renounce government, like you live in anarchy. Like that's literally what it is. But that's what the world is it not? Like 7.8 billion people live in relative harmony, associating with who they want within their own fucking countries. That's beautiful. That's what I want. And then you just consent to the government that you want, because government is inevitable. That's what it is, like you get a group of people together, they're going to try to regulate shit. That's what they do. Think about
remember when we had Ashley Shade on and she was talking about, you should like be able to fill out like what you want your tax money and stuff to go to. That should be like, I don't know, something in that direction. I know that's like a really rough idea, but it's like we should have some control over where our tax money goes and what we want to opt in, whether we can opt out of Social Security or opt out of the funding wars or whatever else we want to do. It should be representative of us. If we are going to subscribe to a government, it should represent us. And if it doesn't, then
no one's going to fill that shit out. No one is going to fill
I would
that
at least.
No one is going to like, okay, I guess no one's going to think about like, what do we use every day? And that's why we pass the buck off to these elected officials under the guise that they're going to babysit the nation and think about everything that we don't want to think about. Like, you think people are actually going to be like, okay, 10% goes to the street lamps because I really need those. And we also need water to be clean. And I also need the parks. No one's going to do that. No one's going to participate.
We've got Netflix subscriptions. I pay for electricity. I pay for gas.
But how many subscriptions do you have that you don't even like keep track of, that you don't even fucking use, that you just like have a subscription?
Hey, but I can cancel them if I want to.
I'm saying that's
I know,
being like financially responsible, but there's also 330 million people here that we also are counting on to be that fucking great, and they won't be. And that's why they need a government system, and I need them to have a government system, because what the fuck else would keep them the hell away from me? Whatever government you want, have a government. Have 7 presidents and teach them to do tricks like balancing balls on their nose and foreign policy. But whatever you decide to do, leave me the fuck out of it, because I'm not going to vote for that shit. And I'm not filling out your bullshit paperwork. And I'm not paying someone to go through the results. And I'm not paying someone to like collect all the money. I'm not doing any of it. I just want a cabin in the forest that like is still in distance to a good chicken wing restaurant so I can get delivery.
It's like, is that too much to ask for?
That's the American dream. I want to live in the forest and also get wings delivered. So if someone could provide that, I mean,
like drone delivery, they have that now.
But my wings would get cold in the atmosphere.
You're just shooting down all my ideas tonight.
All right, James.
All right, guys, that's what we got. That's our show. We ran through a bunch of topics, but no, thanks for everybody tuning in. I think we always have a blast here. We're drinking, we're hanging out, we're talking shit, talking about real shit, and unplugging yourself from the Matrix and whatever, chicken wings delivered by drone. That's what we do here. So we're entrepreneurs.
That's the America I'm hoping for. Okay, that's what this is. This is a trial run for exactly. See. The market's not Jesus, but asking you shall receive, baby girl. Okay, I can't tell
the market will provide.
I can't make you believe in capitalism. I can just show you what capitalism has done for me.
Facts.
But
Mad
anyway,
facts.
I'm Princess Rivulet. This has been the internet and the take on everything. And I always have such a great time with you guys. And we'll see you next week.
Next week, Monday, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. or somewhere about then. Tune in. Love to have you guys back. All right, guys, have a fantastic week.